welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I am the author of the young adult fantasy novel Firian Rising, and this is English Nerd. So on today's edition of the 2-Minute Writer, I wanted to talk about dashes. One of the most common grammatical questions that I get in my class at school is, how do you use dashes? I feel like they're kind of the unicorn of the grammar world, at least the grammar world that tends to teach semicolons and things like that, because dashes are a whole lot more fun. Now, we don't want to be like Emily Dickinson because she got a little overexcited about the dashes, but there are 3 ways that you can use dashes correctly, and they are actually pretty flexible. I know that one of my issues is that I tend to overuse them, but in any case, you should be using them a little bit because they are super effective in certain circumstances. They're a little less uptight than things like semicolons, and they're just very useful to know about. Before I give you those 3 ways that you can accurately use dashes, I do want to make it clear that a hyphen is not a dash. A hyphen is one of those little dash-like marks that you put between 2 parts of a word, like self-improvement. A dash is actually the thing that goes between 2 words or 2 clauses, or sometimes even 2 complete sentences, or they could be on their own. So, one way that you can use a dash correctly is to indicate an abrupt break in thought. So if somebody in your story, for instance, is talking about one thing and then all of a sudden just breaks off that thought and begins another, that would be an accurate time to use a dash. The second way that you can use a dash is for parenthetical material. So, in other words, if you could put the information into parentheses, maybe as an explanatory note or something like that, then you can also use dashes. They just are a little bit flashier and indicate that this is probably a little bit more important than something in parentheses, which people kind of assume can be taken out. Dashes just set it off in a more funky fashion. Number 3 is what I tend to use dashes for probably the most, and that is to replace the words that is, namely, or in other words. So again, that is, namely, or in other words. Dashes can be used to separate what could be 2 sentences, but the second one is more of an explanation of a part of the first one, or an example of the point you're making in the first sentence. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any other questions about dashes, please let me know in the comments below. Like this video if you liked it, and I will see you next Monday. Bye!